So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. Now listen, I got y'all because I know a lot of people just like me chilling in the house right now because of everything that's going on outside. So I got y'all. Listen, the next video we checking out. Shout outs to that chapter. I don't know how I skipped over that when we went to Mr. Ballin', but you know we got to come back and double back for that chapter. So this video here is called The Deadly Stalking of Ruggles. All right, so we're gonna check this video out, man. Hope everybody's out there being safe. Give your boy a like if you want to see more videos like this, and let's check it out. Hit that subscribe button too.
Hey you, and well, my name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we're gonna do is look at a scary story. It is a scary story of obsession, and it blows like my obsession with life insurance out of the water, and it's a story that takes us to England, if you can believe that. It takes us to a town that's kind of outside of, but also part of Newcastle. I'm not even going to attempt the Geordie accent. Was it God? No. It is the story of Alice Ruggles, but it's also a story of, like, incompetence. So, alright, no more spoilers. Let's give it a go. Heading to Gateshead, which is just across the river from Newcastle in the north of England. It's sitting on the River Tyne, opposite Newcastle, that's upon it. About 200,000 people have the privilege of living there, and despite what was said about it in 1934, which is that the town appeared to have been designed by an enemy of the human race. That is a sick burn, though. I like it. Today, generally, from what I can find reading online, seems to be a lovely place to live with a lot of praise for its architecture and its arts. So, look at you! Though, to go back, the burns against Gateshead actually go to as recently as 2007 when a foreign tourist, was entering the UK. And they were denied a visa upon entry. Why, you ask? Well, this lady said that her reasoning for entering the UK was that she wanted to spend a week on holiday in Gateshead. And the immigration officer found that to be unbelievable. True story, and very funny. Now though, let's get into this old story which ain't so funny. And it happened on the 12th of October 2016, perfect, a time for Halloween horrors.
12 is like 2 days before my birthday too. Ain't something I want to think about, huh?
Situated about a half-hour's walk from the Gateshead High Street lies Rawling Road. It's pretty nondescript, looks like many roads in England upon which folk live in terraced houses. That evening, the evening of the 12th of October, something happened. Something there had been warnings about for a long time. Warnings that had been reported to the police, who instead just sat there with their thumb up their holes. That Wednesday evening, at around 6:30 p.m, Maxine McGill, who lived in the ground floor flat with Alice Ruggles, returned home after work. Maxine was driving home that evening. She parked up outside, but she couldn't enter the house. It was locked from the inside and had a security lock. So she began, shouting, "Let me in, let me in." She knew that, due to the lock, someone was home, that Alice was home, and so she started peering and poking in, presuming maybe Alice was in and she'd just fallen asleep. She eventually climbed over the back gate, saw a window open, and thus scrambled into their little flat. Alice wasn't asleep, and Maxine found her in the bathroom.
was having that conversation the other day, right? Like, when that's like a vulnerable moment. You get in the shower, you're like, do you ever get in the shower and you in there and you think about, you try to listen? Like, I don't understand, and I used to do it sometimes, but not so much anymore. I used to play loud music when I was in the shower just to, have a good time while I'm in the shower. But as I got older, I'm like, no, I need to hear what's going on in the house. I need to hear if, you know what I mean? The shower's already loud. I need to be able to hear. What are some things that y'all do to protect yourself while you're in the shower, or, you know what I mean? Make sure you can hear. Scary.
This was not one of those, huh? What? Whoa, you're real, it wasn't a real whodunit. From Jump Street, Maxine knew exactly who was responsible for this. Alice Ruggles was born on Christmas Eve, 1991, to parents Clive and Sue. Sue working out of school, her father Clive, a very well-respected professor of archaeoastronomy at the University of Leicester. At first, I thought archaeoastronomy, holy shit, that's like space rocks, but it's actually not. It's how people in past, civilizations viewed the stars and how that impacted their culture. For example, just down the road from me lies Newgrange, built almost 5,000 years ago, and only on winter solstice, the sun shines perfectly down this path. How'd they know how to do that? It's cooler than it sounds. Shut up. Anyways, Alice was the third of four, two brothers, one sister, and they grew up in the village of Turlangdon. That's Anglo-Saxon, I'm sure I just butchered, meaning long town, to which Alice said so long town and went to study at Northumbria University, studying product design engineering, attending from 2010 to 2014. Alice was really known for her jokes and pranks, a natural-born entertainer, so it was no surprise she later, after graduating, stayed in Newcastle, moved in with a load of friends, and started working at Sky there, working as an operations support coordinator and PA. Despite living almost 4 hours from home, she always remained close with her family. They'd be WhatsApping all the time. Alice also loved fencing. Kinda get an on guard, that's what they say, right? And that, in fact, was one of the reasons she attended Northumbria. She was remembered well by her colleagues at Sky as having an absolutely infectious personality. And so it was in early 2016 that she started dating someone she met, on Facebook, kind of a friend of a friend, and they started messaging each other. That guy's name was Harry Dhillon, or Harry Dhillon, and he was a dipshit. Harry's real name was Shaman. He was originally from India, and they often move around as his father was a major in the Indian Army. So they'd go from base to base. He was an only child, and grew up pretty damn well off, and spoiled to shite. And Harry followed in his father's footsteps, but first he began his degree, Strategy Management, in India, and then, after being given the option to spend his final 2 years at Queen Margaret University in Edinburgh, he gave that an old hell yeah, moving to Scotland in 2010, when he was 19 years old. After that, he saw the army was recruiting, and he said, "Don't mind if I do," and he joined the British Army, eventually becoming a Lance Corporal and Signaller with the 2nd Scots Regiment.
Right, I know what y'all saying. I'm saying the same thing in my mind. This just don't make sense. Kid that has all the opportunities, blessed in like, huh? Well, you would throw all that away? It's certain. I know people right now would be envious of the life you're living. Wasn't afforded those opportunities, and you chose to throw it all away.
He served in Afghanistan. He worked protecting the royal family when they visited Scotland, and he was even preparing and training to join the SAS. Yes, the Super Army Soldiers. It was actually while he was stationed in Afghanistan, non-combat role, that he began talking to Alice. They began messaging each other. It started small, but I mean, it didn't take a whole lot of time for, every day they were video chatting each other, non-stop. When he returned and was based in Edinburgh Barracks, about a 2.5-hour drive away, they began dating properly. Alice was seemingly mad about him. They were inseparable. Then shit piled up and up and up and up. People noticed Alice was not her usual self. She was more quiet, withdrawn. Her friendships started disintegrating, especially with any male friends she had. Well, not anymore. In fact, she had to move out of a shared house she was in and move in with Maxine on Rawling Road. Harry would be there all the time, and her having less and less friends started to make complete sense to Maxine. He was totally controlling of Alice, what she did, how she dressed, who she hung out with, all of it. He had a checklist, and pretty much everything that was on that checklist was about him. Drinking without him, wearing makeup when he was not around, talking to boys? Huh? He must be joking. Not on his watch. Anytime she even spoke to another man, he called her, well, horrible things and said she was flirting and all this, cheating on him.
Signs, ladies, pay attention to the signs. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that controlling, pay attention to the signs like that. That should be, I don't want to say dead giveaways, but yeah, dead giveaways that something could happen down the line. And you hope not, but you gotta pay attention to the signs though. Person being that controlling what, who can tell you what to wear, how to dress, how to speak, and who to speak and not to speak to. You know what I'm saying? But you be so over the hills in love with that person that you gloss over, you know what I mean? You let things slide. And you make up excuses for that person. Come on, man. No more.
That sort of thing. And of course, you can probably guess it and see where this is going. Whenever somebody accuses somebody else, and that accusation is pretty baseless, you can bet your ass that the accuser is the one actually doing it. Harry was the one who secretly had the Tinder and whatever dating apps, chatting up girls all day, cheating on Alice on the reg. He had complete control over her. What was she gonna do? Well, dump him. In late summer 2016, when one of those women he had hooked up with messaged Alice and was like, hey, your boyfriend is what he's up to? And she couldn't take it anymore and began to see him for, I guess, what he really was. Just a sack of shit. So she, turfed him out, but he kind of ended up like a bad penny. Or, I guess, more aptly, a turd that won't flush. She was done with him and ready to move on. But he wouldn't take it.
Whoa. What did he say? She said, I really respect you too. If I'm honest, I don't think I'll ever be able to trust you again. And I don't think either of us can be happy together after all this. I'm sorry. That's a no then. Okay, thank you, Alice. Okay.
But he wouldn't take it. She was done with him and ready to move on for an answer. He wasn't having it.
So that thank you was a front. Jeez.
Texts, emails, non-stop, harassment of the highest order. Every day, more and more. She would not respond, and he would not get the message, or rather, lack of them. Then the voicemails began. He was being a complete little bitch about the whole thing. I think we can all agree. I mean, he was the one who was cheating on her. But of course, these controlling, abusive people, once they lose control, they will do anything to get it back. In fact, like 2 years before Harry and Alice started dating, he'd been given a restraining order from a previous girlfriend, and he'd even been arrested for assault, but it went away. So this level of harassment was nothing new to him. He had a whole playbook ready. This even led to messages where he said he had some intimate photos of her, basically threatening her with them. The blocks of him did not work. He would always find ways around it and began messaging her friends and family. He managed to hack her social media. Seriously scary shit. Like movie level shit. And it just spiraled into more and more insanity. For example, he once hacked into her Tinder and saw she was messaging other lads, and he did not like that at all. She started seeing a new guy, and they were messaging on WhatsApp. Harry found out about that through some kind of spyware or hacking, and then Harry started messaging this guy. It's hard to overstate how much of the ultimate stalker this fucker was. And as you can imagine, like what Alice was going through with this happening to her for months.
Months? Like, come on now. Report. I need a report done. There's no reason she should have to suffer like that. I need y'all to stop waiting. Stop waiting. Go handle this. You know what I'm saying? Hoping this person or thinking this person isn't going to do anything. No, go report this. Get that. No, don't stop waiting. This irks me. Like the signs are there.
In every single way possible. On the 1st of October 2016, Harry drove from Edinburgh to Gateshead. This was just after midnight. He started waking her up, knocking on her door, but every time she would go to the door to like peek through the little, spy hole thingy, he would hide. So she'd go back, he would do it again, and again and again. And then after a while, what he did, he climbed over the gate into their back garden, started knocking on her window, on her bedroom window where she was asleep. She, very frightened, as you can imagine, peeked, opened through the curtains. And what did she see? She saw chocolates, she saw flowers, and she saw Harry creeping off into the darkness, getting the gun. Then that same night, she got this message.
Again, so that's why I decided to come down, just give me flowers and chocolates, and on my way back. If you want to take it, you can take it. If you want to bin it, you can bin it. It's completely up to you. I just wanted to do something just to say I'm sorry and show that I really am sorry. I just wanted to give you flowers and chocolates to prove that no, I don't want to kill you. I'm not intending to kill you. That's all I wanted to say.
Holy shit. She called the police.
Hi there. I just need a bit of advice, really, more than anything. I split up with my boyfriend about 3 months ago. Since then, I know that he's hacked into my Facebook and also my phone. He's been sending me a lot of messages, even though I've asked him not to contact me. And what he sent me a message saying I've been in regards to spies. I had to knock on my door, and there was no one there, and then it happened again. Come round the back, knocked on my bedroom window at the back of my flat, ground floor flat, and he's been outside and he's left some flowers and chocolates on the outside windowsill, and he walked off. He's not done anything, but I'm concerned.
The police called over the next day, took details, a statement, and if he calls again, let us know. So they gave her.
We need something else in place. That if he calls again, I don't even like the restraining order. I don't even like that anymore because I feel like that does nothing. You know what I mean? Nobody should have to deal and go through this right here, and the end result shouldn't be what happened to her, period. Like, we got to get something else in place. Seriously.
Her list of options of what could be done. And she opted for what's called a PIN. That's a police information notice. What that means is that if she ever calls the police on him again, he'll be notified. It's kind of nothing. It is nothing really. It's less than even a slap on the wrist. What they'll do is they'll go to him and say your behavior is unacceptable. So, that's all. It has no legal basis at all. There's nothing they can do. it's not like anything. What a pin was not explained to her correctly. So she ended up feeling like she'd done something proper to make him stay away, and she ended up feeling a lot safer than she actually was. A week later, after this, right, in early October 2016, Alice, she started to feel, okay, I called the police, they did a pin, that's gotta be a good thing, right? And he has a message. All done. And then she got a package. In it was a creepy ass letter and old photographs. So he was not supposed to contact her again due to the pin. And so Alice called the police again.
Hi there. I've been in touch with the police. Somebody's been issued with a pen so that they can't contact me. However, I've had a letter off them.
Who was it from?
Harry Dhillon.
So that's who the pin's against, is this?
Yeah.
And can I see your name?
Yeah, it's Alice Ruggles. It says at the bottom he won't contact, this will be the last I hear something, but he's said that a lot of times and he never does seem to stop.
No, you want someone to contact you?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, bye.
They did not take this seriously at all. They're like, yeah, sure, be grand, we'll get right up.
That irks me, man. That's why I keep saying something gotta be done. Something gotta be better in place to protect the women out here, man, that are dealing with these sickos. We got to have something. Ladies, if the police, go stay with your family members. Go stay with your parents. Go stay with your dad. Go stay with somebody who can help protect you. Like, don't be out here feeling like you're alone. Like, no, don't feel like you got to handle it. If they're not helping you and you're following these reports and it's still not getting, go stay with somebody until. You know what I'm saying? Something, don't be alone.
On that, they did call back and they asked, hey, do you want us to, do something about this?
Yes.
Or do you want to arrest him? Do you want us to arrest him? She said, no, I don't want you, she didn't want him to actually...
Oh my gosh, why? Why not? Don't ignore these signs. What?
To get in trouble. She just wanted it to stop. Thing is, they shouldn't have even asked her. He already had a restraining order in his past, so that should have been a red flag to the police. And you can't exactly put the onus on the victim if you're supposed to arrest someone or not. A few days later, Harry was even caught parking outside her house. See, Harry had been told by everyone, army buddies, friends, to stop contacting Alice. He didn't listen. Then he drove up to her house on the afternoon of the 12th of October, parking down the road from her place. While waiting, he contacted a girl on Tinder looking to hook up. For Alice, this was another day at work. She was leaving at about 5:20, like a regular day. She got a lift back home to her place.
We've still got paramedics equipment in here as well. She's lying on her back in the bathroom with a very large hole in her neck. The bathroom's completely washed.
While she was home alone, Harry broke in through a window. Hard to say exactly what happened, but Alice ended up in the bathroom. The police could tell from the scene that there had been some kind of scuffle. She had defensive wounds on her, and then, when she was lying face down on the ground, he knelt on her back, pulled back her hair, and slit her throat 6 times. He then took her phone back with him to Scotland. That would be traced. Maxine arrived only a few minutes after Harry left the flat and found Alice. She dialed 999, the emergency services arrived, the police arrived, but Alice was pronounced dead at the scene. Forensics were in to gather everything. In fact, a few hours into the investigation, the police would arrive in Edinburgh to arrest Harry Dhillon.
You don't have to say anything, but may harm your defence if you don't mention any questions. Something later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
He was arrested in the barracks, looking like a wild shite. Yeah, scratches all over him, the whole lot. He denied having done anything.
So Harry,
Are you serious? With all this evidence plastered across your face and everything like that, are you seriously gonna sit here and deny it? A simple test of her fingernails or whatever will probably find your DNA all throughout it. Like, why even draw this out long? Like, she's filed so many reports on you. Like, how do you really think you saying, I didn't do anything is gonna get you out of this? You really sicker than we thought. We already think you are, but it's well beyond the scope of what we had originally thought. It's worse.
1834 hours yesterday, Alice Ruggles was found at her home address in Gateshead, Sheffield, murdered. Did you murder Alice?
No, I did not really asked.
Do you have any knowledge of this?
No, I don't have any knowledge.
Were you present when this murder occurred?
No, I wasn't.
Her DNA would be found on his bracelet and on his steering wheel, and as much as he tried to deny having ever been there, the entire situation was undeniable. He would play down the whole stalking thing, how he was a crazy son of a bitch, and he was just trying to talk to her. That's all.
She told people that I was really abusive and I used to stop her from doing things, and it was a really horrible relationship. She didn't have a life. That's a lot of rubbish. It's something that I did I shouldn't have done. But because I had her Facebook password, so I went on her Facebook and changed her password because I just didn't want her to go back on Tinder, and I was just desperate to not let her go back on Tinder.
How do you know she was on Tinder?
So one of the guys in my flat in the army barracks, he was on Tinder, and I found out that she was on Tinder because he showed me.
So you've logged on as her and changed her password?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't stalk her and all that. Obviously, I did look at her Facebook to see what's going on because I've been with her for so long through all these things, so I can't just turn it off my head.
Sorry, take time.
Sorry.
And he would say that sure, he was there that day, but she was breathing when he left.
I jumped over the wall. So you've jumped over? Yeah. So I jumped over, and she then started saying, whoa.
All of this stuff you saying you did, you expect for us to believe you didn't do something to her. What made you stop there? With doing all that other stuff, and that's where it stops. I was done. Like we believe it.
What are you doing here? I'm going to call the police, leave now. And I'm like, Alice, please calm down. Stop panicking. I'm just here to speak to you. You've not given me my answers. I just want my answers. She said, I don't want to speak to you or see you because I've heard stories about how guys like you end up killing their girlfriends. And I've got a feeling you'll probably do the same. I don't want to die. I want to live.
We're looking for fingerprints. We're looking for blood transfer from the scene to the car.
See, the thing is, sorry, I'm in trouble. There won't be any blood transfer because there was no blood on me when I left that place.
So you're saying when you left her, she had no injuries or anything?
Oh, no, absolutely nothing. No injuries, nothing. She was perfectly fine, fit, healthy.
We're being told exactly what happened to her. And how you cut her throat.
No comment.
Are you looking back? Oh yeah? Do you remember what happened?
No comment.
Do you remember what you did? Do you remember how bad it was? Do you remember the blood spray?
No comment.
I'm being told that she suffered. She must have known what was happening. But she didn't die straight away.
You've got 4 tiny little scratches on your face, her throat is slit open through the voice box.
Back to us, fine.
He went on trial about 6 months later in April 2017, and he still denied that he had murdered his ex-girlfriend. In fact, his excuse when it came to trial was that he had broken in that day. He had gone in just to talk with her and get some of his old things back. And she launched at him. She attacked him with a knife, and she ended up doing it to herself. She was in such a frenzy, she cut her own throat 6 times. What? He denied it till the end, and said that as she was dying, she blamed her own family. Which is just sickening. He was found guilty, true and true. He was sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 22 years.
There are many signs of stalking and coercive behaviour that we did not recognise. Everyone should know about these signs. This is National Stalking Awareness Week, and we feel there is a need for much more work to be done to publicise and identify stalking and controlling behaviour, to tackle the root causes and to stop them developing out of control. We all hope to do as much as we can from now on, as we all sincerely hope to help prevent what happened to Alice happening to others.
This is incredibly sickening. Alice was let down completely. There was a million opportunities for them to stop this psychopath, and they all slipped through, and then she was just left to him. You could see this happening a mile off, that he was incredibly dangerous.
Her parents, who've been campaigning for changes since her death, have received yet another report which says the authorities could have done more.
Do you know, we can't bring back Alice, and Alice is in our minds all the time. And so by trying to help people in the future in the same position as Alice, that helps us.
The amount of evidence she had that he was insane was more than enough for the police to take this more seriously than they did. The fact that he had a previous restraining order should have been a clue, but something good did come of it to the Alice Ruggles Trust. It worked to update police procedure and ensure that they do take the stalking more seriously, which I hope so. This is probably one of the more anger-inducing cases I've covered, and it's incredibly tragic for Alice. So yeah, I don't really have any good ones to send you off with, just... that guy was a real cunt.
Yeah, man. Like, only thing I hated that I wish she would have, when they asked her, you know what I mean, she would have told them to do more. You can't just not do. You gotta speak up. Say yes. Don't be afraid. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid, and don't ignore these signs. Don't ignore them. You know what I mean? It's better to be safe than sorry. I feel so bad for her parents, man. You know what I mean? And now they're doing this to spread awareness. Spread awareness. Like, if you're going through it, reach out. Police, family members, somebody. Don't go at this alone. All right? Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And yeah, stick around and stay tuned. That was a tough one. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.